So Raheem Mostert requests a trade. Yo, everybody, dude, King Dingbat here. So today we have come with the hell is that? It's a big ass dog. Dallas still stinks. Yo, everybody, doing King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm up early this morning because today is going to be another 105-degree day here in Vegas. Way too hot for me, so I'm out. It's about, I don't know, somewhere in the 90s. It's still hot, but not nearly as brutal as it's going to be. So I wanted to come out here early, make a video before I head to the casinos to start figuring out what bets I'm going to produce for this year's football season. Now, as many of you guys have heard, Raheem Mostert, the running back of the San Francisco 49ers, has requested a trade. He wants to be traded from the San Francisco 49ers, and the main reason he wants to be traded is over money. He wants to get paid more than what he's getting. He's under contract through 2021 this year. He's making $2.5 million, I believe, the next 2 years. He wants to bump up to about $4.5 million, which is about what Tevin Coleman is getting. And they pretty much had similar stats, so he has a case to be made. But it doesn't look like the Niners are going to give him that, and therefore he's looking to be moved. Now, we all know that the Philadelphia Eagles, they need a running back. They need a complimentary running back. We've heard a lot about Devontae Freeman. We've heard a lot about Shady McCoy coming back. And really, the truth of the matter is, after you get those two running backs, there really hasn't been any other running back out there on the market. Unless you're going to trade for Leonard Fournette, which is most likely not going to happen. There really wasn't anybody else until Raheem Mostert requested a trade. Now, Raheem Mostert, for those that may not know, he was an undrafted rookie free agent signing by the Philadelphia Eagles under Chip Kelly. He came when we had DeMarco Murray, Darren Sproles, Kenyon Barner, and he came into a really tough situation. I thought he had a good preseason with the Eagles, wind up not making a team, got waived. I think he ended up in Miami, bounced around a few years, eventually went to the Niners and found his place, found his niche with the San Francisco 49ers. Had a great year last year, over 700 yards on the ground, 8 touchdowns, 5.6 yards per carry. He's 28 years old, 5'10", 205, 206 pounds, and he had a really, really good year. And here's the question when it comes to Mostert, and if the Eagles should pursue him in a trade, because that's really what we're talking about here. The Eagles need a complimentary running back. They're looking for one. He could be a perfect fit, but on the other hand, is Raheem Mostert a running back who has found his game after bouncing around for several years? Or is he a product of the San Francisco 49ers system and the type of system they run and they use running backs in? I mean, think about this. Shanahan, his father, they both run a system that always produces decent running backs. It just always does. They always produce decent running backs. And it's a real legitimate question if Raheem Mostert is a product of that system or if he found himself after several years bouncing around. To me, personally, it's probably somewhere in between. This thing is moving again. It's probably somewhere in between, okay? Now, I will say this. With the Eagles and Deuce Staley, I think they do a great job of getting running backs, figuring out what they're good at, and then using it and incorporating it into their offense. So I think they would do that, and they would do a decent job with Raheem Mostert if they brought him in. I don't think he would be necessarily as effective as he would be in San Francisco, but as a complimentary running back to Miles Sanders, yeah, maybe he could fit the mold. Maybe he would be a good complimentary back to him. Now, the thing is, if the Eagles are going to go out and trade for a Raheem Mostert, okay, what are they going to give up? Because as far as I'm concerned, to go out and get him a complimentary running back to Miles Sanders, I'm not giving anything more than a third-day draft pick. It's got to be a third-day draft pick. Nothing more than that. I don't think he's worth anything more than that. I just don't, okay? And the other thing is he wants to be paid $4.5 million a year. The Eagles, with their cap situations, with everything going on, I don't think the Eagles should give him that bump in money. I think they should say, hey, look, if you want to come in For $2.5 million over the next 2 years, okay, fine, but we're not bumping up your contract, and that may cause problems. That may make him not want to go to Philly, and truthfully, I don't even know what the 49ers would ask for, but I'm not giving anything more than a third day draft pick. Okay, hey, look, if you want to throw Rasul Douglas and do a Rasul Douglas for Mostert trade, something like that, fine, I'm fine with that. However, I don't think Raheem Mostert, if I had to make the decision right now, I don't think that based upon him wanting a salary raise and what you'd have to give up to the 49ers, I don't think it's worth it. I think the Eagles should take a chance with Elijah Holyfield, this kid Warren. Let's see what they can get. We're talking about a complimentary running back. And even if you have to bring in Freeman or McCoy, they may be cheaper in the end, and they may be able to do a job for 1 year. So if it's me, most likely I would probably have to say I would pass. This thing's moving again. I would have to pass on going after a Mostert, unless it's real cheap and he's willing to pay or play at his current salary. Other than that, I mean, like I said, my big question with him is always going to be, is he a product of the San Francisco 49ers system? And if I had to guess, I would say most of his success probably came that way. However, he could be cheap, and if he wants to come under the current salary, and he's not going to cost the Eagles more than like a Rasul Douglas or a third day pick, then hey, take a chance on him. But that's just kind of how I see it. What do you guys think? In the end of the day, I don't think he's going anywhere. So I would like to know what you guys think. I'm still all about getting a complimentary running back to Miles Sanders, but I'm okay looking at Elijah Holyfield and Warren as those guys. I'm okay with Freeman or McCoy at this point. What I want is somebody that could come in and be a complimentary running back to Miles Sanders. I don't want 50-50 splits or anything like that. I want Miles Sanders to be my franchise back. With that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.